Bertrand Russel, an atheist, attacked the first cause argument and said that it was self-contradictory. He said that if they believe that everything must have a cause, then God must also have a cause. He questioned Christians, why are they exempting God from this argument? So in conclusion, Russell rejects the first cause argument and states that not everything must have a cause, and it is just because of the poverty of our imagination that makes us believe in something that is not real.
As a priest, as well as a scientist, are Russell's argument valid at some point?
So the first cause argument is trying to prove the existence of a God, where God means a first cause. Now, the Big Bang, phenomenal. But what happens at time -1? You cannot prove or disprove the existence of a first cause. But it seems reasonable that if you have an effect, it should come from something. And certainly that is what the science has done. Looking at the stars, looking at the galaxies, how do they come about? Their best guess is the Big Bang. But what caused the Big Bang? They don't know. But was the Big Bang caused by somebody who looks at us as children? Is that first cause like our father, or even more intimately, like our mothers? We have no way of proving that. But now when you say first cause, you define your terms. Well, to say, I'm looking for the cause of the first cause, that's illogical, isn't it? Can we talk about a square circle? No, a circle, by definition. Do square circles exist? I think that would be what I would find difficult with the argument of Bertrand Russell, saying that because we ask for first cause, then we have to say, what's the cause of that first cause? No, if it's going to be a first cause, it's got to be first.
Being both a scientist and a priest, do you encounter any doubts, such as contradictions in believing the first cause and applying the same logic as well?
As I see it, there is no contradiction between faith and science. They're on two different levels. There's a big difference between science and religion. If you look at the Bible, there are an awful lot of contradictions. The Old Testament, it has there God saying to Moses, for those who hate me, I will punish them and their children and their grandchildren down to the third and fourth generation. But for those who love me, I will reward their children and grandchildren to the thousandth generation. Okay. Now, did Jesus present a God who's going to punish? The church presents to you the reason of its belief, and you look at the reasons and you decide. What Bertrand Russel was saying about the first cause, does the church still present that? Yes. And this whole question on birth control, who makes the decision? Somebody in Rome who wears a big hat, or is it the mother and the father who have to support and educate the children? So you can see the dichotomy. And here in the Philippines, is birth control practiced? Yeah! Widely? Yeah! If a church official says, oh, bawal yan! Okay. And so again, out of touch. Francis is trying to pull the two back together, but it's very difficult because there are a lot of people in the church who do not want any changes.
Given all the proofs of science as to how the universe began, how do you defend that God is really the one who created us and not the ones that are suggested by science?
Okay. How many of you have seen your parents' marriage license? When that marriage license was issued, was your mother sure that the boy she would marry would be faithful for 50 years? Now, is that logical? I guess your father and mother had a lot of things in common, but yet you weren't sure. But what made it so wonderful, not knowing the future, you made a lifetime commitment. And that is love. How about this? Suppose in your case, you had an uncle whom you had never met. He has cancer, and all the money he has, he'd like to give to you. Wow. Suppose you have a boyfriend. Would you tell him about the money? No way. So suppose God has something very wonderful for us. Does he want us to love him because of that wonderful thing? We want to love him as a person. And the heart we love with of our parents, the heart you love with when you get married, is the heart you use to love the God.
Father Glover's point of view regarding Bertrand Russell's first cause argument is not totally based on scriptures. An example of scripture he gave is, if you love God and follow him, all your descendants will be rewarded. But if you hate him, all your descendants will be punished too. In reality, there is no record that it has happened. So we can say that not all scriptures are really true in reality.
According to Father Glover, science and faith are in different levels. Both cannot be put as one because if this happens, both sides will undergo changes that there can be a common agreement. For example, here in our country, compared from past, many Filipino citizens nowadays already follow the concept of family planning. The church cannot do anything to stop or prevent them from using birth control, even though they knew from the start that it is wrong.
Another point is that there is no valid basis for us to prove or disprove that God really exists in reality. Just like in marriage, when you decide to marry someone, you don't know if this person will still be faithful in 10 or 50 or more years, but still choose to make a lifetime commitment, jumping into a pool of possibilities because of love. Just like the love for a God, if this being has something wonderful for us, it remains a mystery, for it shall not be the sole reason for loving him.
Lastly, Father Glover laughed said, "Why would you look for the cost of the first cause? That's why it's called first, because nothing came before it."